this won't want to focus on anything close, this phone, because it's bamboozled by the things that are not so close. But I took photos of these blackberries using this lens, Olympus 75 f1.8, plus an old 58mm polariser that I found. Not only did I find that the reflections on the blackberries changed when you turn the polariser, but the green background changed also. Yes, it did, Charlie. The reflections on the green background also changed. So, I'm going to have a quick peek at those pictures now. I'm going to go inside and put the camera down and take a look at those pictures. They were the last 3 pictures on the card before I change it. So, let's see what we can see. Now that is the picture without the polarizer, focused on this blackberry here and taken at f2 point something, f2.2. I meant to take it at 1.8, so there's a lot of out of focus background, okay, of course, because we like that, don't we? Trying to see what it looks like. It actually looks brighter on the screen of the camera than it does on the phone. Now, okay, that's my grandma's grave. This is the one. This is one with the polarizer, and this is another one with the polarizer. So you see, with the polarizer, you lose a lot of the green reflections for some reason. You still got a bright background, but you lose a lot of the green colour. And the polarizer, and you can see that the sun is from this direction. These reflections are showing, and a whitish background. You turn the polarizer. These reflections are subdued. These are accentuated. Photo actually darkens a little bit, I think, and you get a much more intense green. And without the polarizer, you get all the reflections, and you get all of the green. That's strange. Let's have a look at the exposures. David Thorpe said, no, another guy said actually you use a couple of stops or more on the polarizer. So, yes, 200 f1.8, 400, that's only about one stop at 2.2. 250th of f1.8, 200th of f1.8, 400th f2.2. So that's about 1.5 stops. Okay, it's about 1.5 stops more light without the polarizer in this particular case. You haven't got direct sunlight on these anymore. You've got direct sunlight on the background, just to show you. So that's actually skylight that's shining on these blackberries now. Okay. Previously, on these shots, with the 12 to 40, without the polarizer, without a polarizer, see, you got similar colour, although much closer focusing, of course. 12 to 40 is pretty good for taking close-ups. It's really pretty sharp for close-ups. It's really good, actually. I really like this lens. Wish I'd had it before. Wish I had it for the wedding that I shot a few weeks ago. And there's Charlie. Charlie likes to rest because he's about 18 years old. But yeah, so you do get wonderful out of focus rendering with both these lenses actually. But it's interesting because finding this old 58mm polarizing filter from back in the days when I used to go to Mildenhall Air Show in 1981, 82, 83 or whatever, until about 86. I think it might have gone as far as late as 1990. On my old Tamron 70 to 210 zoom, and it goes nicely, of course, on this 75mm f1.8. So I'm going to mess around with this lens and the polarizer. So that's one orientation of the polarizer. That's the other. Very different, and that's without. So it's interesting that you lose a lot of background colour with the polarizer sometimes. And of course it deepens and darkens the sky a great deal if you use the polarizer, obviously. That goes without saying. Let's go to those. Okay. Okay, let's look at this very, very wispy cloud without the polarizer. Bring it in somewhat. Bring it in completely. And that was almost an invisible cloud to the naked eye. Get a lot more sky contrast, as you can see there. Far, far more sky contrast. Probably makes it easier to focus on clouds as well. Doesn't it, Charlie? And there's Charlie. Charlie's always around.